Sam, this is very simple. It's open primaries versus closed primaries.
Yeah.
And we've been saying all along, this election's going to be won not across the fruited plains of America. It's going to be won in the suburbs of Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit, and Milwaukee. And here we have in Detroit, again, I don't know, maybe people that run for office and are basically three-time incumbents, basically. Maybe they're happy losing 45% of their own party's vote in one county in the suburbs and 33% another. But I will tell you, I would be hiding under the sheets if I were a politician and those were the results the next day. In the area I have to win Michigan and win the presidency.
Right.
These are flashing red lights for Donald Trump. And his people can whistle past the graveyard all they want. They can insult Nikki Haley all they want. Donald Trump can talk about how badly he's going to beat Barack Obama in the fall all he wants. These aren't good numbers.
Barack Obama. Yes, I think they are warning signs for obvious reasons. I mean, Donald Trump, he's dependent on one thing really right now, which is Joe Biden not being able to turn out the vote, because Donald Trump he clearly has a ceiling, right? Mm-hmm. He's not making overtures to win over these voters. He's not even trying to be nice or magnanimous to Nikki Haley. He didn't mention her for a day, but he went back to attacking her on Sunday. It's not a campaign that's trying to expand the tent. It's a campaign that is what it is. It's Donald Trump. So his path to the general election really depends on Biden's coalition kind of fracturing and falling apart. And it's kind of a race to the bottom there. It will be in the suburbs if that's the case. Mm-hmm. That's where the election will come down to, because frankly, that's the main competition between the two. And Donald Trump, for 2 cycles now, has lost the suburbs over and over again, and Republicans too. So what are they doing about it? And frankly, I haven't seen much from the Republican Party to try to fix this. If anything, what you've seen, well, I don't know if I want to say that, because the response to the IVF ruling, for instance, shows that they recognize they have a problem. The question is, what will they do about it? And I don't know quite yet what they're going to do about it legislatively or politically, because the course correction will not come from Trump.
Well, let me tell you, if I'm wanting to unite a party and I think in the end I'm going to win, you go out and you say, Nikki Haley, wow. Let's give her a hand. She's an incredible candidate, and man, I'm going to want her to be part of my administration.
If
she'll be that, no. What I am doing here is what politicians have done for thousands of years.
It's called expanding the coalition. Yes,
it's called winning.
Yes.
Right? And so he can't do it. And so no, he's not being nice. He's not being magnanimous. And let's stay, by the way, on the powder blue side, the spring side of the morning show table this morning. It's side of our DC Bureau. Let's stay there. Elizabeth, I want us to stop for just 1 minute, because since Donald Trump came onto the scene in June 2015, you have a Republican doing something that no other Republican has done. I mean, they give Nikki Haley her due. We all should. I know, yes, she should have done this before. She should have done that before. But Nikki Haley is taking the incoming from Donald Trump. As Barack Obama would motion, she's doing that. And she's going state by state by state. This is something Marco Rubio is too much of a coward to do. This is something that Rand Paul was too much of a coward to do. We can take it all the way through 2024. Nikki Haley's keeping her head down, and she's saying, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going harder at him, and let's see what happens. Donald Trump hasn't had to deal with that yet in his political career.
And he's not taking it well.
No.
I mean, she's really tougher than the men have been so far. She has enough money to go for some time at least. And she's, doesn't look good for her this year, but obviously she's looking to 2028. And the other thing I wanted to say about Donald Trump, not only is he not being nice to her, he's being, the things he has said about her, about her husband, about her marriage. I mean, it is a new low, even for Donald Trump, the way he is going after her personally, and her husband, who is, a veteran, he's
serving something Donald Trump would not know anything about.
So that is what is kind of extraordinary.
Yeah, Mr. Bones.
And the other thing, of course, I know we've discussed this before, but in South Carolina, what was so interesting, he was supposed to win by 30 points. He won by 20. Okay, still a lot of big votes. But so many of Nikki Haley's voters said they would never vote for Donald Trump, like 60%. So that, again, big warning sign for him.
Wow.